pop culture of today is dominated by action-packed superhero movies, mainly kicked off by the release of Iron Man 1 in 2008. Since then, the MCU has grown to over 20 movies and 12 shows, if you aren't counting the Netflix originals. And the success of the MCU comes down to the characters. Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Black Panther, I could list great characters for days. Wait, doesn't DC have great characters too? Well, yes, Wonder Woman, Batman, The Flash. So, why isn't the DCEU on the same level as the MCU? Let's start by comparing the two starts. And no, I'm not talking about Man of Steel or the other Man of Steel, Iron Man. No, I'm considering the start of these connected universes to be the first team-up movies, where two or more characters from separate movies in this universe team up. This would be the Avengers for the MCU, and Batman v Superman for DCEU. Just saying that would be enough to seal the debate, but for fun, let's see why they were so different. The Avengers was a simple success, well-known characters finally teaming up and defeating a big bad guy. It's simple but effective. The difference maker is the in-depth exploration of how each of these heroes would interact. Not only does this create necessary tension to keep the audience intrigued, but it also sets up future character development. Think of when Captain America and Iron Man are arguing and Cap says this.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
I know guys with none of that worth 10 of you. I've seen the footage. The only thing you really fight for is yourself. You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you.
I think I would just cut the wire.
Always a way out. You know, you may not be a threat, but you better stop pretending to be a hero.
A hero? Like you? You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
Wah wah wee wah, it all comes full circle. That's good story. Now, let's look at Batman v Superman. This movie was very hyped up, mainly because people wanted to answer the question that was posed by the promotion: who would win in a fight? If only Logan Paul and KSI would have fought before this movie came out, so that we would learn that we never will get the answer. But people wanted to know. I remember having a nerd debate with my friend before the movie even came out, trying to tell people why we think one would win over the other. So imagine everyone's disappointment when we got
letting him kill Martha.
What does that mean? Why did you say that name?
There was no payoff. The solo movies were supposed to actually set up something, but in the end it all meant nothing outside of introducing who Superman and Batman are. You may say, but Superman dies in the end, that's meaningful. But no, it isn't. They just revive him in Justice League. So yeah, just based on that, Marvel had a head start. So has DC been able to catch up at all? No. Outside a few moves, it seems like DC has never made any attempts to improve. They haven't made anything with their unique and interesting characters. I mean, they are starting to, but I believe it may be too late. DC has been stuck in a limbo where most of their movies underperform and like two have been good. Before I give my verdict, however, let's talk about the behind the scenes issues. Marvel's success comes from a lot of places, one of those being consistency. The only characters that have been replaced are Hulk and War Machine. Now let's look at the DCEU. Batman is done being Batman. There was no Robin shown to pick things up. If they want to continue the DCEU with Batman, they have to pull some magic and recast him. And no, the Batman will not take his place. They have been clear in saying that the Batman is not in the DCEU. There is also speculation that Superman won't return with the same actor, another devastating blow given that two of DC's big three are not returning. I've already made a whole video about the whole Ezra Miller situation. If you're interested in the details, click on the card in the top right. But to summarize it, some crazy legal issues have left DC no choice but to fire Ezra Miller. This leaves you with only Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Suicide Squad, until they release Blue Beetle. It's a roster that would be very hard to succeed with, especially when your competition is the entirety of the MCU, which has too many characters to even name right here. The turnaround time of projects is drastically different as well. The DCEU has turned around 2, maybe 3 team-up movies that actually contribute to the cinematic universe. The MCU had at least 5. They even have more TV shows. Not only that, we are entering an age of superhero movie fatigue. If the only movies coming out are superhero related, the demand for non-superhero movies shoots up. So the more DC tries to save their cinematic universe, the more they are going to fail it because of this fatigue. So what do I think Warner Brothers should do? Release Injustice 3? But as far as the DCEU goes, everything is saying that you shouldn't try to save it. Let the DCEU die, let Marvel continue to make their stuff, eventually superhero fatigue will take over, there will be some time where Marvel takes a break, people will want superhero movies again, and that is where you restart the DCEU. For now, genuinely stick to making quality video games and comics. It'll help you explore new storylines and unique characters that ultimately will benefit you when it comes time to restart the DCEU. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Can Warner Bros. Save the DCEU? Should they scrap everything? I read all the comments, so let me know. Make sure to subscribe for videos like this and for fun Saturday videos. Okay, bye.